Let's bring in Steve Moore from the Committee to Unleash Prosperity Hotline and host of More Money on WABC Radio, and Kevin Hassett, former chair of the Council of Economic Advisors, distinguished fellow at Hoover Institution, author of a book that I stole out of Larry's office called The Drift, Stopping America's Slide to Socialism. It was so dog-eared, by the way. He doesn't just say that it's a great book, Kevin. He read the book. It is very well dog-eared, I have to tell you, because I'm reading it now. Okay, how much of our growth and the job statistics that we're seeing every month, which even though they're downgraded a month later, they do look pretty good at first print. How much of all that growth is a result of government spending as opposed to what the private sector is doing?
Right. Are we going to me first? The thing that I like to look at, or I don't like to look at, but the way I like to characterize Bidenomics is just this. That if you go back to 2019, right before COVID, and then look at how many more people are working today, that it's 2.3 million more people working today than were working back then. But to get to 2.3, we created 3.3 million jobs for illegal aliens, and a million people who were in the country in 2019 have left the labor market. And how did we create those 3.3 million jobs for illegal aliens? Well, we borrowed money from the Chinese. Last year, we borrowed more money. Government debt held by the public went up by more than the increase in nominal GDP. And so we're borrowing money from the Chinese to give jobs to illegal immigrants, and that's what Bidenomics is. And I'm happy to talk with President Biden about Bidenomics because if you look at the facts, that's what he's done.
And Steve, all of this has a consequence, and the consequence is what we saw in that poll that Edward had. 86% of independents feel that they are worse off now because their lives are pulled down. The cost of everything is more at the grocery store. The cost of buying really big ticket items, if you have to borrow money for, the lending costs are through the roof right now. So their daily lives are bad. And I just want to put up something again. We talked about this before, the president's misuse of stats and saying things that just aren't true. He came out with a tweet a couple of weeks ago that said, or an X post, said Donald Trump enacted a $2 trillion tax cut that benefits the very wealthy and biggest corporations and exploded the federal deficit. Under my plan, nobody making less than $400,000 will pay an additional penny in taxes. Now, in point of fact, the CBO shows that total receipts from taxes between 2017, which is about when the tax cut went through, to 2022 is up 48%. We have received more than 48% in tax receipts because of the Trump tax cuts. That's a huge amount of increase. So all of the deficit explosion that we've seen is a result of spending. Has nothing to do with taxes. In fact, it's just the opposite.
Well, that's right. And by the way, great tie today, David. I love it.
Thank you.
Let me say this, that I think that if you look at these statistics, it's very clear why the majority of Americans say they feel that they're worse off financially. You know why, David? Because they are worse off. If you look at wages and salaries, they're up about 16%, and inflation's up 18.5%. So this isn't complicated math. The average family is somewhere between $2,000 and $2,500 poorer than they were in real inflation-adjusted terms than they were when Trump left office and Biden came in. And that's the point I think Donald Trump is going to have to hammer day after day after day. Are you better off today than 4 years ago? And it's not like, it's so interesting because the Democrats keep saying, gee, we have to sell our message better. We're just not communicating our message. It's not their message, it's their policies. Their policies are basically tax and spend, regulate, go after big businesses. Kevin Hassett was, the guy who really formulated the Trump tax cut with the help of myself and Larry. But, it was based on Kevin's models that when you cut business tax rates and make America more competitive, you're going to bring more jobs in the United States. That's precisely what happened. And one last thing. How in the world is it in America's interest to have a higher business tax rate on our businesses than China and Russia have?
Well, and the other thing about that statement that Biden came out with, Kevin, is that it's just not true that it all went to the rich corporations and wealthy people. 64.8% of taxpayers received a tax cut. Even the New York Times came out and admitted that back in 2019. So it's something that benefited the broad majority of Americans. If they go back up, if they raise rates again, no matter how they do it, it's the middle class that's going to pay the piper, right?
That's right. And, you know, if you go back and look, the business side, which is what President Biden's going after, was almost scored by the Joint Tax Committee on a static basis as revenue neutral, because they had all this base broadening on the international side while they cut the rate from 35 to 21. And right now, corporate tax revenues are about double what they were right before the tax cuts. And so the business side is what he's calling the tax cuts for the wealthy. They actually were revenue neutral. So the numbers that he's citing, the $2 trillion, that's stuff like the refundable child credit that he supports. It's not a giveaway to the rich.
Yeah.
And the thing that bothers me the most, David, is just that the White House is supposed to fact check things. And so he's going out there and he's giving speeches with lies in them, and people are signing off on that. I would never have done that if I was in the White House.
Kevin and Steve, I wish we had more time. We got to leave it at that, gentlemen. Good stuff. Thank you very much.